All right, let's go to activity 2. Activity 2, let's look at the pre-reading questions. The pre-reading questions. Number 1, it says, guess, what are some common serious accidents among children? Can you tell us? What are some common serious accidents among children? What happens to children? What kind of accidents? Burning? Yeah, burn their hand. Falling down. Okay. What else? Yeah, burning and falling. What else? How about this? Choking. Okay. Slipping. Poisoning. What else? Cutting. Okay, getting cut maybe from falling down and getting cut their knee or something, cutting their or scraping their ankle. What else?
Falling from the stairs.
Yes, falling down from any place, from the stairs or from the jungle gym, from a high place like a tree. Fire. Okay, burning. Right. Okay, what else? Anything else? Swimming pool. What happened in the swimming pool? Drowning. Yeah, that's another serious problem. That's another serious problem. Okay, so you're going to learn more about them when you read this article. And the title of this chapter is called Preventing Accidents. So what does that mean? What does preventing accidents mean? To avoid the hazard, right. Don't make it happen. Don't let it happen. You know it can happen. You know something bad can happen. An accident can happen. But you do something to prevent the accident. You don't let the accident happen. Let's look at the useful words for the reading. Danger. Danger. Something that can cause hurt or harm. Crash. Crash. So when something breaks by hitting it hard. Cabinet. Cabinet. A case with shelves. We saw the cabinets in the kitchen. Container. Container is a box or a jar used to hold something. So, for example, the bleach is in a container. Yeah, the bleach is in a container, and we can close the cover of it. So this is a kind of a bottle. This is also a container. Right. You can put something in it. It's a container. Tip. Tip. A useful idea. Helpful information. If I give you a tip on how to do something, then it means useful advice. Prevent. Okay, this is a verb. It means to stop something from happening. Okay, let's look at activity 3. That's the reading. All right, so we're looking at the reading on the next 2 pages. The reading is about Raquel and Kathy. All right, listen. Raquel and Kathy are taking an ESL for childcare class. Today, they are learning about how to prevent accidents. The following reading is in their textbook. All right, so you understand that? They're taking ESL for childcare class, just like you are, right? And you have a textbook, and it includes some articles. This article is called Preventing Accidents. When children are very young, they completely depend on adults to keep an eye on them and remove dangers. Do you understand that?
Yes.
What does it remove dangers mean? Take them away. Yeah, take the danger away. Okay. You know what it means? They depend on adults. Young children depend. What does that mean? They depend on adults. The adults are responsible. The young children don't know how to do it. The adults have to be responsible to keep the danger away. If they see something dangerous, they remove the dangers. Okay. As they grow older, adults help them to learn to avoid dangers for themselves. Okay, what does the word they refer to? As they grow older. Who? The children, right. As the children grow older, adults help them. Who's them? The children, right. Learn to avoid dangers for themselves. When they get older, they can understand more. More than 1 million children die each year from accidents such as vehicle crashes, fires and burns, drowning, poisoning, and falls. Okay, 1 million. How big a number is 1 million? Too many, too many, too many. How many zeros are there in 1 million? When you write the word. Right, 1 plus 6 zeros. Yes, more than 1 million children die each year from accidents. Now, vehicles, what is that? Vehicles. Vehicles. Cars, right. Trucks, yes. What else? Bicycles. What else? Vans. Buses. Motorcycles, sure. Boats. Boats, on the water. Yeah, all of these are vehicles. Trains. Subways. Yeah, all of them are vehicles. Vehicles, right. So vehicle crashes, that's two, right? Vehicle crashes, yeah. With extra care, most of these accidents are preventable. Preventable. You see the word prevent and you see the word able. We put them together, we say preventable. That means we are able to prevent these accidents with extra care. We have to take care. We have to be very careful. You know that? Of course. Okay. Now, let's look at the different categories of accidents. The first category is vehicles. Vehicles. Yeah. Accidents involving cars are the greatest cause of child deaths. Many accidents also occur when children ride bicycles. Okay. When children ride bicycles, especially when they're learning, they might not be very steady. They might be a little bit wobbly, and they might fall over and get hurt. Or they might not see the cars, or the driver in the car up here doesn't see the little child down below, and then there's an accident like that. So that is the most important, or the greatest number of accidents is caused by vehicle crashes, and it causes the most deaths. All right, let's continue. Prevention tips. So tips means what? Remember, it means tips. Prevention tips means pieces of advice, suggestions, how to avoid the accidents, how to prevent the accidents. So here are 3 prevention tips. Always strap a smaller child into a car seat or booster seat, and make an older child wear a seat belt. You do that?
Yes.
Yes. And do you know that the law just changed in California for car seats? Did you learn about that? Who knows about the law? If you're going to take care of children, you need to know about the law. You don't know? Okay. How long does a child stay in a car seat? 6 months? No. 1 year? No. In a car seat. In a car seat. In a car seat? Okay, so. Okay. I believe that some of you know the law, okay? Because you said 6 years old and 60 pounds. That is the old law. But now there's a new law. And this law just got signed in last week. Okay, so we have a new law, and I'm looking it up on the internet right now. California. I know you don't see it. 1 second. I'm going to try to put it on here. Seatbelt law. Let's see if I can see the seatbelt law. Oh, how come this doesn't show much of anything? Okay, it's not showing me very well. So because this only passed last week, maybe this site doesn't have it. I'll look for it and tell you next time. All right, so the old law was 6 years or 60 pounds. But now it's I think it is like a taller. You have to stay in the car seat for a longer period of time. I'll check it out and tell you next week. Second tip. Teach children to follow traffic rules, especially those who ride bicycles. Do you know traffic rules? Yeah. What do we mean about traffic rules? For example, green light and red light. What's the difference? You understand when to stop? When to go? Okay. And how about when you cross the street? Where do you cross the street? In the middle of the block or on the corner?
On the corner.
Right. Especially on the corner, especially if you see the crosswalk. That's the best place. All right, so those are important. And where should they ride the bicycle? On the right side. On the right lane. Not on the left lane, but right lane. If they are under 18 in California, then they can ride their bicycle on the sidewalk. On the sidewalk. On the sidewalk. Not in the street. If you're an adult, you're 18 years old, you cannot ride your bicycle on the sidewalk. Then you must ride in the street. But if they're minor, if they're under 18, they can ride their bicycle on the street where the cars don't go. All right? Okay. What else do they have to wear? Helmet. Okay, that's a law. The bicycle helmet. All right? Always teach the children to wear a bicycle helmet. And it's also important to buckle the helmet because sometimes I see the children, they put the helmet on their head and then the straps are like this. Okay, that's just like the danger in Eric's high chair, because if they go like this and the helmet falls off, it cannot protect their head. All right? And then another problem I see is that the strap is too loose. And if the strap is too loose, the helmet will move away and they can still get injured. So the strap needs to be tight enough. And even if they say, no, Mommy, it's too tight, you have to make sure it's tight enough. Not to choke them, but enough that the helmet doesn't move. That's important. Yeah, because that helmet can protect their head. My son, when he was younger, we were riding our bicycles. Many of us in families were riding our bicycles. And when he was riding his bicycle, he had training wheels. If you have training wheels, you have two more little wheels on the side. They're very dangerous because maybe you're riding your bike like this, but the kid's riding their bike like this, and there are two training wheels on the side, and there might be a rock or a stick or a branch. So what happened is my son went over a branch and then fell down. But his red helmet was very successful in keeping his head safe, so he didn't get injured. Right? He didn't get hurt. So even though you try to be safe, accidents happen. But if you wear the safety helmet, then it can protect the head. All right, so teach the children to do that. Third tip, we already said that. Make sure children wear bicycle helmets. Okay. Next category is fires and burns. House fires and other burns are responsible for nearly half of all deaths in children. Wow. That is a lot. So house fires. If your house has a fire, how does the house get a fire? How does it get on fire? Maybe stove. Okay, forgot to turn off the stove and something's burning. What's another reason? Candles. Candles are burning and you're not watching them, right? What else?
When the people smoke.
When people smoke and they leave the cigarettes and the cigarette starts burning the table and then burning the house. Electrical, right. Your electricity is worn out, and then it creates electrical fire. Those are some. And do kids ever play with matches? They want to find out. Ooh, right? Were they playing with it because they think it's interesting? So those are all reasons that fires can start in the house, and burns like the pot on the stove, or burn from a fire itself. Prevention tips. Keep matches and lighters away from children. You know matches, right?
Yes.
What's a lighter? A lighter is a small device that you use. You just trigger it, right? And you use it to start your fire. And another kind of lighter is cigarette lighter that people use to light their cigarette. So those will cause fire. Number 2, keep a fire extinguisher in the kitchen. A fire extinguisher. What is that? Usually what color is it? Red. And then it can put out the fire, a small fire in your home. Turn pot handles toward the back of the stove. All right, when we saw that, do you see that we were looking at the picture of Sarah? Oh, no, what's her name? Susan? Right. And Susan was touching the pot handle. So grandmother should turn the pot handle, not stick out here, but turn it around to the other side. So it doesn't bump, even when there are adults in the room. I always turn the pot handle in, because otherwise I might rush this way and I rush that way and then hit the pot handle and the pot falls off. So that's another important thing, to turn the pot handles toward the back of the stove. Okay, next category is drowning. Drowning. So drowning is the third cause of death in children. A child can drown in less than 2 inches of water, 2 inches or 3 centimeters of water, and in less time than it takes to answer the phone. So if you are thinking about, you think, oh, the phone is ringing over there, and I'm going to answer the phone and I'll be right back, that could be enough time for the child to drown. Now, it says how much water. So 2 inches of water is only like this much. It's possible for an infant or a toddler to fall into something. They don't have to have their whole body. They have just their face. It's possible to drown that way. Okay, so if you're taking care of little children, infants, you have to make sure no water that much is possible for the child to drown. You don't want to have a bowl of water, you don't want to have a bucket of water, and you don't want to fill up the bathtub with water, even a small amount of water, and don't leave the child alone in the bathtub, because it's possible for a child to fall in the water. And they are not so strong. They can just jump out, right? If they fall down and they stop breathing, then it's easier for them to die. Okay, let's look at some prevention tips. The first one says, never leave a child alone in a bathtub or pool, even for a moment, right? Not even for a moment. Don't turn your head away. Always keep your head looking at a child in the pool. If you have a swimming pool at your home, what can you do to prevent drowning? You can put a big safety gate or a safety fence around it. Okay? Put a safety fence. So my neighbors have a pool. They have 3 children. They put up a safety net all the way around. And they locked it. And when they wanted the kids to play or invited friends over, they unlocked it. Then after the children got bigger and they knew how to swim very, very well, then they removed the fence. But otherwise, they keep the fence around there to prevent drowning. Okay? Even if you don't have a big pool, you have a small one, like plastic one or rubber one you put in the backyard, you fill it with your hose. That's also a time where you must watch the children. Keep your eyes open and watch them, because you don't want them to slip, fall, and drown. Okay, number 2 tip is never leave bowls, buckets, or tubs of water anywhere in your home. Okay, so if you have to mop the floor, carry the bucket with you and don't leave it alone. Yeah, okay, so make sure you're holding on to that bucket. And if you need to leave it, you better pour it out or lock it in the garage where the kid can't get it. Number 3, the tip is leave toilet seats down and close the covers. Do you know some kids like to play in the toilet? They just see the water. Yeah, they like my kids like to do that. Put his hand in there and go swish, 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 swish. Looks like kind of fun, right? And then they might fall in. All right, so make sure you cover it. But we also want to lock it. So you should get the special baby locks for toilets. You go to the hardware store or baby store, You can get these locks. They're just plastic. It's not too, not too expensive, but certainly worth the money for saving your kids. All right. The adults can open it, but the children with the small hands, they can't open it. That will be a safety tip. Okay, next category is poisoning. Most poisoning involves medicines, household products, cosmetics, and plants in places where children can get them. Okay, you already know medicines, right? Different kind of medicines could be for drinking or eating the pills, or even rubbing, kind of lotion on your body. All of those are medicines, so be careful with those. What about household products? We talked about like bleach and any kind of cleaning products. When you clean your house, everything, with chemicals in it, you need to keep it away from the children. Cosmetics. What are cosmetics? Eyeliner, lipstick, makeup. Okay, all the stuff that you put on, they might think it's interesting, and they might eat it. So be careful. Yeah. And plants. Some plants are toxic. Some plants are poisonous. Other plants are okay, but some plants are toxic. And some children are interested. They think, oh, we eat lettuce, why can't I eat this plant? Yes. Right? So we have to keep them away from children. So here are some prevention tips. First one, keep all medicines and chemicals out of reach. Do you understand out of reach? Okay, look at me. If I can reach it, we say in reach. In reach. Okay, here's my pencil bag, and I put it right here. It's in reach. Okay, it's in reach. But something out of reach means when I reach put my hand out, I can't touch it. All right, that's the meaning. In reach and opposite, out of reach. Out of reach. So you want to keep all medicines and chemicals out of reach of children, if possible, in a locked cabinet. Locked cabinet. The second tip is keep medicines in original containers with labels on. You know how you get medicines? Sometimes you get a big jar, sometimes you get a small jar, different size jars. If you have the jar of medicine, it always has a prescription. It has what kind of medicine, it has the dose, it tells the patient, it tells the doctor. Keep that in that jar. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to pour it in a little bottle. Oh, I'm going to pour it in a little bag. Then who knows? It might look like candy, right? Yeah. And somebody might eat it, and then they will get sick from the medication, especially if it's a small child. The third thing, don't tell a child that medicine or vitamins are candy. Yeah, don't say, oh, eat your vitamins, it's like candy. Don't tell them that. Just tell them these are vitamins, or this is medicine. I know you don't like the taste, but it will make you feel better. Don't say anything about sweet or candy. All right? Because otherwise they think wrong. They get the wrong idea. Okay, the next category is falls. Falls from high chairs and beds are common in the house. Many falls also occur on stairs and places that are slippery, such as bathtubs. So if we already talked about Eric, he might fall from the high chair. And we also saw the stairs outside the safety gate. So those are possible places to fall from. So what are our prevention tips? The first one is always strap a child into his high chair. Strap the child into his high chair. I mean, fasten the straps. Number 2, don't let a child run while eating or carrying sharp objects. Okay, look at me. If the child is eating, I'm the child, and I'm eating, and I start running, what might happen? Fall down and choke. Okay, this is a choking danger. And it's also a falling danger because maybe I'm thinking about my food, but I'm not thinking about where I'm going. Okay, how about sharp objects? If something is sharp, like what? Pencil sharp, right? What else? Scissors. Okay, should you run around with the scissors? No. No, because you might fall down and also cut yourself. Okay. And in the bathtub, if you give the baby a bath, which you probably do, use a rubber mat in the bathtub. And that will prevent the baby from falling and hurting. Because if you fall down in the bathtub, it's very hard. But you put a rubber mat, it's softer. Okay? Now, the last one is choking. The last category is choking. Children can easily choke on small items, like little toys and buttons, nuts, and grapes. So what should we do? Here are some prevention tips. Toys should be at least 1 3/4 inches or 44.5 millimeters in diameter to prevent choking in infants and toddlers. All right. So in the picture we see a circle. What does that circle mean?
The size.
Yeah, the size. All right. When we give a child something to play with, does the thing need to be bigger or smaller than the circle?
Bigger. No, smaller.
Okay, I want now, parents, I want you to really think about this. This is extremely important. If you say the wrong one, you could endanger your child. I'll ask you the question again. If you give a small child a toy to play with, if you give them something to play with, should it be bigger or smaller than this circle? Bigger. Do not give them smaller than this circle. Why? They might swallow it and choke on it. Have you ever seen a child choke on something? Yes? It's not pretty. My child choked on something. Do you want me to tell you what he choked on? You want me to tell you? No? Yes? Yes? Should I tell you? A quarter. He saw the coin on Grandma's desk. A shiny coin. Oh, it must be good to eat. He put everything in his mouth. He's, some children, they see, they touch, they taste. That's how they explore, right? Some kids don't, but some kids do. So my son, he put bugs in his mouth. Little bugs and worms outside. He put everything. Yeah, he was very curious, and he put a coin, and you know what happened? It got stuck in his throat. Very, very bad. You know what Grandma had to do? She yelled and screamed, and I came running. We turned the baby upstairs. Whack, 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 whack. And then the coin fell out. Yeah. Oh, so scared. Oh, I was so scared. You get stuck, huh? Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, so it didn't get stuck down here, but I got ha. Yeah. At least he could still breathe. My kid couldn't breathe. So I took him to the doctor to just check it. And the doctor said, he's okay. He's not bad. How old was he? Oh, 3? 2, 3, something like that. Yeah, I mean, Oh, yeah, how about this? You get something in your nose? Yeah? Does anybody have that problem? You stick something in your nose? What happened to your kid?
My friend's son, 2 years old, he puts a small piece of Lego.
Yes, a small Lego, a small piece of Lego. He put it up his nose.
Yeah, and then he scared into the emergency room, and the doctor.
Yeah, so he had to go to the emergency room to get the doctor to pull it out, right? Yes. Okay, that is why it's very important to look at the things around. If you have small children, don't let them touch anything so small, because they could do something dangerous. Some people will put something in their ear. Did you ever have that? Put something in your ear? Well, look at all the places where we can put all the little holes. We can put things, So many good places. We can hide our candy, This happens, and it's dangerous, right?
My granddaughter put a little ball.
A little ball in her ear?
She say, I put one ear.
Oh, like an earring? Oh, she thought it was an earring, but she put it on the inside? Oh, that sounds pretty dangerous.
I want to share something. Last 2 weeks I was in the classroom in the nap time, and the big jobs are right here. And then the kids were sleepy. Then we were there, and then the girl stand up and she comes to me. You know what, Miss Pilar? This is something on my nose. I touch here and I say, oh, this is
something in her nose?
Something happens here. And
Oh.
in the nose.
So something was inside her nose?
But I couldn't believe because it never happens. So when I take her, I make her come, maybe it's true, maybe not. So I walk her slowly to the office, and I told the director, she say this, but I don't believe it. but she still can breathe and I try to not let her move, just calm down.
Oh, calm down,
Then
right.
the director, she takes her like this and she takes her out. This happens and we didn't have meetings and nothing. I was so upset because it was my first day to cover this nap time. What happens
Oh,
if she dies or something? Gonna go
yeah,
to the
that's very dangerous,
I
yeah.
didn't supervise them, it's not my fault. So they didn't pick up the jobs. I told them, put them in the tub and use it only because the kids 3 to 5 years old, they don't know how to handle. What happens next to, so this, the mother doesn't say nothing. So they say, oh, your daughter this and that, and she say, okay, I believe you, da da da. Next 2 weeks, they didn't pay attention, and the next 2 weeks, another child was doing that, and they take them to the hospital. And the child's still there, and parents don't complain. If I am the parent, I sue them and I do something, because what are the teachers doing there?
Yeah, the teachers should need to take a responsibility for putting away everything that might be dangerous. So yeah, watch out. If you're working in a child care center and you have many little children, you're taking care of them. You're supposed to keep them safe. And you may leave something like this out, like this on your table, but not with children because they're very curious. They want to see what's inside. They want to see how it works. They want to play with things. And then, they might start eating this or putting it in a place where they don't have. In America, when you look for toys, it will tell you not for children under 3 if the pieces are very small, because children up to 3 years old often are curious and they don't know what fits here, what fits there, and why don't we try putting in this place or putting it in that place. So we adults have to be responsible to lead the way and keep them safe from toys. So the toys should be at least this big. At least? Yes. At least this big means not smaller than this, much bigger than that. All right? So that's why the big kind of Legos are okay, but the small ones are not for the small children. Now here are some prevention tips. Keep small toys and objects out of reach of children. And another one, cut a child's food into very small pieces. Cut grapes in half. Now grapes, they're kind of slippery. So it's easy for the child to just go and then get stuck. Now it's not going to hurt my big throat, but it will be hard for the small child. So because they're very slippery, you should always cut them in half before you give it to them. Then there's a soft, fleshy part that they can squish. But the grapes or something small, if you cut it really small, then if they choke on it, then at least they have some room for air, and then the food can go down. But if it's big, then they choke very, it blocks the air for the child because the child has a very small throat. Another thing is don't let a baby drink from a bottle while lying down. What does that mean? Okay, so if they're lying down all the way like this, where is their throat? See, their throat is this way. Okay, that's not the way we drink. Your throat has to be up. Okay, so if you're feeding the baby a bottle, the baby's bottle cannot be like this. Right? That would be a way for the baby to choke. So you always have to hold the baby up when you feed the baby. So the baby is up, and then the throat is at least going downwards. All right? So some people think, oh, I don't want to hold the baby. Just put him down in the bed. Give him the bottle. And then they run into some problems, like they come back and the baby's not alive. That's not a good story. So we have to be careful with that. Okay, let's go over the comprehension questions, and you tell me which one is the correct answer. What kind of accident causes more deaths among children than any other? Drowning, poisoning, car accidents? Car accidents, okay. Number 2, what is the best way to keep a child from falling from a high chair or car seat? Strap him in. Okay, good. Yes, number 2 is strap him in. Okay. Number 3, which of the following will help protect a child from poisoning? Never put medicine in a place where a child can reach it. B. Okay, good. Number 4, which of the following will help protect a child from choking? Serve food. Are you sure?
What children while they eat?
Watch children while they, okay, let's look at those. I think some of you are having trouble with this idea of size. All right, I want to come back to this one over here. What is this one, this circle, what is this talking about? Is this talking about food or toys?
Toys.
Are you sure? Okay, if this is talking about toys, this means we want the toys to be at least this big, so they cannot put it in their mouth. All right, now, this question, number 4, is not talking about toys. It's talking about food. So, let's go over it. A, give children only fruits and vegetables. B, watch children while they eat. C, serve food in pieces at least 1 3/4 inches in diameter.
B.
Okay, did you change your answer?
Yes. B.
All right, we want B. Look, if we're going to feed child food, do we want it to be at least this big? No, we want it to be very small. So make sure you understand which things should be big. Toys, so they don't put it in their mouth. Which should be small? Food, so it can go down their throat easily. All right? Don't get mixed up between toys and food. And when I say toys, I don't mean just toys that are for children. I mean any things that children can play with. So this is not a toy to you. It's a pencil for writing, but to the child it might be, oh,